Hello my friends, Gabriel here and welcome to Planetside 2, Basic Construction Guide. With Planetside 2's latest update, they've unleashed the ability for players to create and defend custom bases throughout the planet. Not only has this driven player-created content up to a whole new level, but has changed the game entirely. This is the future of MMOs. One of the first things a player would want to do is to familiarize oneself with the features of base construction. Where it all starts is with the new material found all over the landscape known as cordium. They are tall black spires of delicious energy ripe for the picking. Cordium is harvested with the new vehicle type, the Advanced Nanite Transport, otherwise known as the Ant. This baby is loaded with tons of awesome features, such as seating for 4, the ability to shield itself under fire, the ability to cloak, and can basically climb up anything in its path. This vehicle will open a whole new style of gameplay which I'm excited to see blossom in this war-driven universe. Going up to any vehicle terminal will now allow a player to deploy the Ant for a measly 200 nanites. The Ant comes equipped with a mandible mining laser and a yellow cap mining laser on top. This allows a player and a friend to work together to get the Ant filled to capacity. The top-mounted slot can also be swapped out for any standard vehicle weapons that can be fitted to a Sunderer. The Ant comes with a standard capacity of 5,000 cordium, but can be upgraded by 20% intervals in the Ant Passive Certifications window, found in the middle right of the menu under Ant Certs. Let's get to mining. When traveling around in the Ant, a player can upgrade the mineral radar under Utilities to better locate cordium nodes. This can be upgraded to detect cordium at 600 meters. No cordium will escape from you. If you don't have the tracking radar, then using a friend in an aircraft helps for scouting out an area. To mine, simply drive within close proximity to a spire and hold down the left-click button to begin harvesting. This shoots a beam from the mining laser and collects the cordium into the Ant. While in first-person mode, the amount that the node contains is located on the right side of the screen, and the amount that's contained in the Ant is located on the left. You can see the energy transferred from one side to the other. Cordium nodes can contain 1500 energy all the way up to 50,000 energy in the mega spires. Now let's move on to building. After loading the Ant with cordium, a player will want to find a defensible location to build a base. If it's difficult for tanks to attack or traverse, then it leaves infantry and aircraft to do the heavy lifting. This increases your chances of survival. We'll get to base defenses later, but for now, finding a suitable location is best. Keep in mind, building a random base somewhere isn't really that beneficial for your faction and sometimes may even hurt their advance and or success in an area because the materials are being wasted. Find a well-established base to lend a hand in and defend, or help get one started to push your faction into the winning circle. Alright, back to the Ant. The Ant is a mobile workstation and can be deployed like a Sunderer when the vehicle is not in motion. This brings a terminal into view at the rear end of the vehicle. A player can access all of the constructible items and modules from here. Players have at their disposal some basic buildings such as the anti-infantry Xiphos phalanx turret, the deployable deconstruction tool, the rampart wall, the cordium silo, the bunker, and at battle rank 15, the hardline interface volume emitter, otherwise known as the Hive. The Hive is what base building is all about. The Hive generates victory points in exchange for cordium. This is why having a base that is well stocked and supplied with cordium is important. Not only does cordium help generate power for the Hive, but it also generates power for all the buildings and modules around it. The more power requiring structures around the silo, the quicker it will be depleted. Once the cordium runs out, the power is out. If the power goes out and you're in the middle of a raid, it's all over. Let's get back to building. Some of the constructs have a circle of influence which will not allow certain structures to be too close to each other. This forces the spread of modules and turrets throughout a base. The indicator is a large red or green circle, and the affected structures or modules will also light up green if within an area of influence. There is also an indicator message in the middle bottom of the screen to notify a player if an area is unsuitable and why. Pay attention to those, and this will help make building a base a smooth experience. When setting a structure, here are some helpful tips to get location in the exact right spot. When holding a deployable structure in front of you, left-clicking and right-clicking will rotate the structure. You can also move the structure forward and backwards by holding down both mouse buttons at the same time and moving your mouse forward or back. The elevation can also be changed by just looking up and down. There are also blue and green markers on the structure to assist with setting a building in a suitable location. The structure will light up green if in a suitable location and then hit E to set it. The best item to set first is Accordium Silo. This provides ownership of an area around the silo to the squad of players that set it. When a puppy or a random player sets an item in your area of influence, you can utilize the deconstruction tool to remove that item if it's in the way. To deconstruct an item, use the deconstruction tool on the terminal that is on the structure. After the silo has been set, the ant can deposit any remaining cordium into it. To deposit, drive within a close proximity of the silo and hold down the left click button. Just like mining, it activates a laser that transfers the cordium into the silo. The silo's capacity is located on the right side of the screen if in first person view while in the ant, but can also be viewed from the outside by a vertical indicator that is red when low and green when at high or full capacity. Player-built items can be bought with either cordium that has been deposited into a silo or an ant, or with daybreak cash if one feels the need. Once an item has been purchased, it can be held in the player's utility selection, just like any other weapon or accessory. The item will persist through death, so you know that it was not wasted. The rest of the buildings or modules can be purchased with certifications or daybreak cash to unlock them. These items include 2 more turrets, 3 modules, and 2 more cover structures. The turrets are the Aspis Phalanx turret for anti-air support and the Spear Phalanx turret for anti-tank support. These turrets can be manned if needed by simply walking up to the rear of the turret and hopping in like any other vehicle or turret in game. Now on to the rest of the structures. The modules include the structure shield module, which emits a one-way shield onto structures to help defend the interior of the bases. There is also a repair module, which slowly repairs nearby structures, and lastly the turret AI module, which will make effective turrets auto-aim and shoot at enemy players. Keep in mind that the AI aiming system is much more effective than a player within medium to close proximity. Now to the cover structures. First is the Sunder Garage, which provides excellent cover for anything inside. It is also enhanced when near a structure shield module with the one-way shields. Infantry can still pass through these shields, so keep that in mind and maybe lay some explosives to brighten their day. The last cover structure is more of a module in the form of the Skywall Shield Emitter. This is a one-way shield that covers a large overhead area. This makes air assaults difficult, and with multiple emitters in an area, it can look like a small energy dome city. Remember that infantry can still pass through these shields, so airdrops are a viable way to get into bases, unless they're heavily guarded. After your base city is constructed, it's time to get that hive active. The hive will show up with an owner's name and a nice big icon in the main map for all to see. This will attract unwanted attention, as both other factions don't want to see you gaining victory points at their expense. Hives work best the further from a player's warp gate they are. This increases their efficiency, which increases the amount of victory points generated for your faction. If you see a high efficiency hive, you should either help destroy it if it's the enemy's or defend it if it's yours. Keep in mind, if you are going to destroy an enemy hive, it will have a short countdown timer once it's destroyed, and it's going to cause a huge explosion which destroys anything in its path in a large radius. This makes building all of your defenses and the base a high priority, as shortly after the hive is active, enemies will come poking at your gates. Each faction starts with a certain amount of cores which power the hives. When an enemy hive is destroyed, it is claimed for the faction that landed the final blow. The amount of cores can be located at the top of the map when viewing victory point conditions by mousing over the faction you wish to view. This shows the active cores for a faction and how many victory points have been generated due to cordium refinement. After refining 10,000 cordium, the faction gains a victory point. This makes getting the hives in the most efficient location possible a priority. That's truly it when it comes to the basics of base building in Planetside 2. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please subscribe and share it with others. And as always, don't stop. Gabriel, signing out.